Ezesia Dua Akumia, you can also call me the Golden Girl. Last week, Tuesday, we started a wonderful conversation where we talked a little bit on the science of happiness. Today, we are going to continue the conversation. And continuing the conversation, see, last week, I learned so many things, but the ones that really stood out to me was the fact that I never knew that for you to feel that excitement, that happiness, or any other thing that you feel or you exude physically, there are three neurochemicals, different neurochemicals that contribute to happiness. I never knew that. So you've got the gut, which is the serotonin. You've got the heart, which is oxytocin. And then we've got dopamine, which is from the head. And I mean, the brain in here. And to think of the fact that all these three also are brains, my goodness. Scoffrey it was a wonderful conversation. And so today we're going to continue that conversation. But see, I have to pull out my phone because this man over here has so many wonderful accolades to him. And he needs to be recognized as such because he's contributed so much. He's done so well. And so, say, viewers, you understand me? So, he's Africa's first certified ontological executive coach. That's number one. Let's move on. The president of the International Coaching Federation, Ghana chapter, not just that. He's also Africa's first black male professional certified MBIT master coach. We are not done. He's the world's first black MBIT trainer in Africa. My goodness. Scoffrey. Mabodondono. He warned me not to do it, but I still had to do it because viewers need to know who you are and need to appreciate what you do. So that, because last week, the way you were taking us through the scientific aspect of happiness and everything, we really need to understand who you are.
Well, I just say that this is my quest to follow this path that I am on, no matter how hopeless and no matter how far.
Yeah.
To fight for the right of people to become the best versions of themselves.
Yes.
Because we are not here in just flesh form. We are bigger than that. And it requires a lot of studies, a lot of training, a lot of certifications to be able to support people. When somebody sits in front of you as an executive coach, when I'm facilitating a training, when I'm moderating a retreat or a session for companies, I'm not just seeing just human doings. I'm seeing human beings. So all this gives me the requisite insight and knowledge, technical know-how, to understand when we engage. Let's say, last week I asked you a question.
I was going to say that. So viewers, last week, so after the conversation, something happened, okay? But before that, I was quite some way be. But you know, as presenters, the moment we come and then we stand before the television, we have to give off our very best.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we might be going through something or something will be going through our heads, but we just can't show it.
Of course.
But Scoffrey saw through what I was showing you on TV. And he asked me a question after the show. And I was like, how did you know?
It's not knowing, it is sensing.
Oh.
It's knowing is when you can establish it. So for me to know, I needed to ask. So the question I asked you was to give me facts to the sensing.
Right.
Okay, so if you meet people or you are in an environment, you are in spaces, this kind of knowledge and the skill is what aids me to do what I do. Yeah. Because you are more than a human doing. You are a human being.
Yeah. Oh, you're good at what you do. You're really good at what you do. So last week we started beautifully, and we had Delali who aided us. Unfortunately, we couldn't really get exactly what we were looking for, but he tried. He tried. And so today we are going to continue.
Of course.
But then we are also going to look at the contributions that our connections, our relationships, the people around us, how very, very important, how they contribute to how you feel, the feelings you have and all of that. So, Scoffrey, we have a video actually that
I want
you to talk about it and then we play the video.
Of course. You see, Our environment is systemic, like it's 1 + 1. It's like a ladder. So it takes away the fact that we are not called human beings for nothing.
Okay.
It's humus and being.
Right.
It's a life living in a humus, like a soil.
Okay.
So it is important that we learn how the beingness is cultivated. And it is cultivated when you co-create it with somebody. That is what is important.
Okay.
If you create iPhone, to whose usage? A human being.
A human being.
If you design a car, to whose usage? A human being.
Yeah.
And if you eliminate that human beingness factor out of your life, you become lonely.
That's true.
Yes. And that is, and a lot of this ease comes out of the fact that we forget to be, and we think all that we are is to do. So that is how come happiness is one of the ingredients to your human beingness. But we don't see it as a nutrition, the way you want to put protein, carbohydrates, this and that and that.
Yeah,
Happiness is like that.
Right.
So to make sure that you have the requisite nutritional value as a being in that matter, that is how come this is important.
Okay, all right. So viewers, take a look at this video, and then we'll kick the ball rolling with the conversation.
If I were to choose to live my life over again, I wouldn't live it in this way. Do you know Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not personally.
No. The book. The end of that book would bring tears to my eyes for years. Christopher Robin has to go to school, and he's telling his friends, the toy animals, that he won't be able to play with them so much anymore. And what I wasn't aware of when I went to medical school and when I was a physician is how driven I was to justify my existence in the world. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. When you're driven to work too hard, you actually ignore what matters. And what matters is what you were telling me last night about how every summer you take a bunch of weeks away from your podcast and you just spend time enjoying your kids and your wife and your family. I didn't do that. I always felt I had to keep working. And the book ends with the statement, and whatever they do or wherever they go in the enchanted forest, the little boy and his bear will always be playing together. And that phrase would bring tears to my eyes for years. People sacrifice their playfulness, their joyfulness, being driven by unconscious needs to validate your existence. And where does that come from? Again, that comes from childhood trauma. Play is so important, and joy is so important. In that sense, we can always keep playing in the enchanted forest, and that's just essential, I think. If I were to choose to live my life over again,
If you choose to live your life all over again, what would you do, Scoffrey?
It's basically what Gabor Mates. Gabor Mates is one of the renowned experts in psychology, medicine, research, neuroscience. And he's saying that if he's to choose his life all over again, he will want to connect more to human, family, friends, dear ones, than being fixated about science, research, all doing. Then begin to ask yourself, if you are not able to connect deeply with you, you cannot connect to another human being.
That's true.
And a lot of this comes from, when we say trauma, we have the big trauma and we have the small trauma. The small traumas are the ones we don't even think they are there, but they are still underlining.
Yeah.
And that is, for that one, I'll leave it with the clinician and psychologist. But it is very important for us to know that in all you're getting, look for happiness. In all you're getting, look for joy. In all you're getting, give your space to play, so that substances does not stimulate your happiness, so that overdrive of sex does not stimulate your happiness,
Right.
so that accumulation of materials does not stimulate your happiness, so that they don't become the triggers. Rather, you are full of that sense of it such that you can glimmer. These are two different words. Glimmer is the other side of trigger. Trigger connects with you get angry and all that. So glimmer is where you go deep within to create a threshold of your happiness.
So somebody, you know that this thing that somebody has done, it can easily piss you off, but you decide to just taking a deep breath, exhale,
Exactly.
and not react.
Exactly. So that is how come the last week we said that happiness is part of the gift God gave us.
Right.
And it is one of the emotions that flames up from your feet to your head. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is because it's like it flashes your body of all the toxins of a bit of the snippet of sadness, unhappiness, those that you've started. When you begin to go into the space of happiness, it's like it flashes you up. Because the more you store, there is a research that speaks about even intention. What you've not even spoken yet, what you've not even acted yet, if you have intended, it begins to breathe even in your DNA.
Oh.
It begins to stay. So a time will come in your life that every seed germinates. So you may not even remember when you sowed that seed, but it was just out of your intention. So if you pick our DNA, we have what we call the genotype and the phenotype. You see, our traits, our behaviors, our laughter, everything is in the phenotype. That is also where a lot of what we are discussing turns around for us. So it is important for us to know that happiness is an ingredient for your own growth. I was saying to one of the producers, if this were to be training, I would have sparked laughter in this room. That let us all burst into laughter without any objectivity. So let's try it. Cameraman, let's join us. Just burst into laughter. Laugh it out. How could you afford laughter with that objectivity? This is a gift to us, but we don't utilize it. So this means that happiness shouldn't be objectified out there. You should be able to stimulate it. But what
So
are we?
I'm there and I just want to start laughing?
Bust it out of yourself because your body wouldn't know the difference. Because your three brains, the gut that is in charge of serotonin,
Right.
the heart that exudes that of oxytocin,
Yes.
the head that charges dopamine. When the two of them agree and bring the head on top, the three of them will agree something has occurred in your body. And it is more healthier than frowning.
So you would then say that even when it starts off as you are intentionally doing it, it ends up being natural. So
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So that is why we refer that you are a human being. You are not a doing.
Right.
So it is important for us to know that on the top of what we call happiness, beneath is your well-being.
Okay.
So if they can bring the three brains so that we can speak to it. So, you see, when we're growing up, we didn't know we were tripartite being. We didn't know. Even though it's in scriptures, but we don't know the
You want us to project
the three brains.
The three brains? Okay, so if you can project the three brains.
We didn't know we are. So anytime we speak happiness, you must be a happy person. We make it sound as if it's a fluke, all right? But no, everything that triggers or glimmers your happiness is in your body. So if you check on the screen, you have the cephalic, which is your head brain. It is where your reward and pleasure sits. That is how come when you get intoxicated, the part of you that goes funny is your head brain, because that is where that chemicals goes directly.
Okay.
When you don't eat right, there are times if you want to touch food, you begin to have that tummy rumbling. It's a sense telling that this is not good for us, but you don't know.
Wait, that's it?
But you don't even know it is a brain.
Even without me putting it in my mouth?
Yes.
Because it does happen.
It does
You're
happen.
hungry. You touch something. You're about to eat it.
Your stomach rumbles. It is just telling you maybe it's not good for us. Through the nerve endings. And this is the part of you that goes into the quantum world to know even before you think of it. Okay? That is how come you can salivate at something that is not even present. It is all part of that. So if you don't know that your gut has got a lot of more serotonin than any part in your body, and it's also where we say microbiome, the disease and everything, it starts from here. So if you don't eat right, how do you then stimulate your... Imagine having an unhappy colleagues in the office. Imagine having a boss that is always unhappy. Imagine having a lover or a spouse that is always unhappy.
Oh, we can never bring you a good show.
So that is how come it is important to guard. And your heart is where oxytocin said. Because the feeling, the connection, your purposes, your values.
But Scoffy, sorry to cut you. you say that is why you have to. Some people end up, should I say, over understanding that sentence of guarding yourself, guarding your happiness, guarding your feelings, your heart. And so if you know that within this environment, it's toxic, it's full of negativity. I have a boss who doesn't like me. I have colleagues who don't like me. And so communicating with them is very difficult. And so because of that, Obey Juma, you don't want to, open up yourself to work and everything. Does that not affect you personally?
It's a very profound question you've asked. You can do things. Sometimes because we have traumas we don't know.
Oh.
So we set boundaries that... Please, can you project the vagus nerve for me, the vagus nerve?
Okay, so if you have the vagus nerve, let's project that.
There are nerves, there are 10 cranial nerves called the vagus nerves. It's right in front of the spine. It is the only nerve that is not in the spine.
Yes.
One of the job it does is protection, because it has got two assignments. Safety, to allow you to be bubbly, sweet and everything, then sensing of threat, so that it coordinates all your three brains to say, here we don't feel safe. Let's put in mechanisms and measures.
Okay.
But do you know it?
No.
Because if your body knows you don't know, it cannot speak to you for you to appreciate it. It cannot. So the setting of the boundaries, it comes subconsciously to you, but you need to become aware of that so that you put it right.
Okay.
Because your unhappiness is not my responsibility. I'm not accountable for your unhappiness.
Yeah.
So mine is, I don't need to frown because you have frowned in the office. But see the trick. When they are unhappy and you are happy, they get more angrier because you have sown the seed of unhappiness. So anger will come in, depression will come in, stress will come in. And before you realize, ankafu.
Oh, yeah.
They all don't start out of the blue. So your human body naturally, like I said, imagine you have a spouse. When you read about the Bible description of an nagging woman, it will shock you. The same way you shouldn't dwell with people who are full of anger. So, and because our emotions don't come alone, even though it is happiness, when it is serenaded, it exudes joy, meaning it doesn't need to be stimulated out there.
Right.
It can be stimulated from within.
From within.
So last week, I used the word neuroception.
Yeah.
Neuroception basically means the perception of your neurology, the perception of your being. So that one, it occurs within. And the job of the vagus nerve is that it allows you to be able to audit. This morning, I was having a conversation with Delali. A lot of us don't audit our feelings. We don't audit our relationships.
Okay.
Like I spoke about food.
Yeah.
When you touch the food, a lot of us don't. If, upon hearing this, you will begin to take conscious steps in what you eat.
Yeah.
Because it can stir your moods.
Right.
Please, how many of us can think right? Cameraman, when you begin to have tummy running because you ate pepper last night, how many of us can think right? So if you know that what you eat can disturb cognition, then you want to eat right, true or false?
True.
Okay, if you know the water you are drinking can affect this morning if you were having running tummy. But now, but we don't attend to this source of happiness like that.
Okay.
We attend to that as if it's automatic. So we think it's just like that. But those are messages. They are actually messages to us. Then you ask, if you listen to Gabon Mate, he said his regret, like if he's to come back again and everything.
Yeah.
We mentioned if you are to create anything, all that you think you are getting on this earth, can you share it with yourself alone? That is the question. And that question must come from the heart, because that is what purpose is. That all that I am getting, in all that I'm in pursuit of, going to do this and everything, if I can't put that which I have learned, or that accolade and certification, to the service of humanity, fulfillment won't come.
There are a lot of times where I know that there are quite a number of people out there where they are very reserved, they are not so sociable, their circle very tight. You have to do a lot of work to break that and get into their circle. It looks like, or they think that they are successful. They are okay. They don't allow just anybody come into their life to disturb their peace of mind. So somebody like that, an individual like that, that thinks that I'm successful without involving myself with other people and all that. He's in a state where he thinks he's successful. So how would you convince somebody like that, Scotty?
I will interest you to note that a lot of people up there we call successful
Are not happy.
are not happy.
Okay.
A lot of them are lonely.
Right.
Because up there is lonely. Okay. What mostly challenges them is people don't come to them for who they are. They come to them for what they have.
Right.
So they don't get the opportunity to sense genuine love,
Okay.
genuine connection,
Yeah.
genuine relationships.
Yeah.
They don't get that opportunity. And you can put your own friends to test. Those who hail you and everything, just take your time and say, for the next 2 months, I'll stop giving, I'll stop doing this. And check if, go off on Facebook for 3 days. How many people will notice you are off?
Okay.
Go off on a WhatsApp platform you are on for 3 days and check how many people will come looking for you because you are not there.
Right.
Because we've shifted from being to doing. So we can easily forget people.
Forget people, yeah.
So and it is important, I think if you can give me the hug video, the co-regulation video. If you don't have the right circle of friends, we all get to the point where we deplete. Like those of us who are in the supporting career, we keep supporting people to get better and everything. You can feel depleted.
Yeah.
There is something happening in the Bible. Jesus said, who touched me?
Yes.
He said, who touched me?
Yes.
All right.
The woman that had bled.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was when he had gotten the time to explain to them what he had lost. Virtue has gone out of me before they realized that a woman with the issue of blood touched the cloak of his garment. So we all get to the point where we get depleted. But the people around you, even disciple questioned Jesus that who touched him. So the question is, when you feel depleted, whom do you go to? If all your friends are angry, stressed, hyper, faking emotionally and everything, whom do you go to? And guess what? Your environment also has an influence on you. We call it epigenetics. Your environment has got an influence on you because of your phenotype. I had a conversation with a lady friend, and they are friends of about 8 or so. It started with 2 people being single mothers.
Okay.
It started with only two of them being single mothers. One marriage didn't work and they became single mothers.
Okay.
Before they realized, almost all her friends have become single mothers.
Oh.
All her friends has become single mothers. It was that conversation she had with me that she was like, oh,
It hadn't even clicked.
no, because that is the environment you sit in. So until you sense right, even the colleagues in your office and this and that, if you don't sense right, it will shock you. You will become them.
Okay. So if your friends, happy-go-lucky lads, and all of that, like the video that we just watched, and you are, should I say, tapping, or you are getting from them, would they also not get depleted at some point?
If it is a collective, you know, this is the beautiful thing about.
Because the video.
You see, when they hug, it begins
Yes.
to bubble. The beautiful thing about is the one who is full. If you hug that person, you still maximize your own. That is how come even when there is severe cold here, we have to clinch. If there is severe cold right now in this room, for us to survive, we have to hold each other.
Right.
Warm each other for a long time before our body activates the natural warmth. It's the same thing also with how we feel.
So I wouldn't be losing.
No.
I wouldn't be depleted.
No, you're even reinforcing your own. And guess what? Another time you'll be depleted. And mostly we get depleted from the negative spaces we go into.
Okay.
They take from us. They zap us.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you have a nagging boss,
Yeah.
a nagging boyfriend, a nagging
Yeah.
girlfriend, a
Yeah.
nagging wife and stuff, they deplete you. Because those kind of energy are toxic. The meaning we give to them is what even makes it worse. So your happiness and your well-being are clearly important. What kind of songs do you listen to?
Gospel songs.
So what if I suggest to you that it is not even it being gospel? It is a kind of frequency the song is sung on.
You are right. You are so right, because it's not just any gospel song I listen to.
So you see how we deceive ourselves.
I like chants because of the frequency on which that particular genre goes.
So
You're right.
if you don't know, you didn't know, one of the ways to glimmer your happiness, aside co-relationship, is also the kind of songs you listen to, the kind of food you eat, the kind of environment you go into. So well-being, being the nutritional hub, need all these individual components to exude your happiness, to glimmer it, to bring it forth, so that you can share. That is how come I keep saying in certain contexts that you are not responsible for my happiness. No way. I am accountable and responsible for my own happiness.
Own.
That is how come if you are not smiling in the office, if you come home gloomy and I can ask, honey, babes, what's up with you? If you're willing to share. Because in the act of sharing, I can hold a space to hold part so that there is a refuel. So if you meet any MBIT coach, there's a way we hug. We don't hug the way we all do the bump. No, we hug left to left because that's where our hearts are.
Oh, okay. Left to left?
Yes, left to left instead of
embracing.
We hug left to left like that because it's heart connection. Even though the heart has got the amplitude bigger than all waves in our body, yet when it goes contact to a heart. So that's one of the beautiful things I think we shouldn't stop doing. Our mothers wrapping their babies at their back because their hearts are just at each other.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And your heart, the one that is behind, is bigger than what is in the front. So, but we are learning too quick to stop doing all this thing because we think we have evolved, we have become
Yes, so now even with that, we are doing it, from the front with the careers and all of that. I'm talking about the baby.
Yes.
The baby carrier.
Yes. Yeah. So you see, how do we carry babies? You hardly will put your baby here.
Yeah.
The baby will go here.
Yeah.
And a part of your heart connects to your facial muscle, actually.
Okay.
So that is how come your baby will need to sense you. We are sensing beings. So happiness is not a thing. Well-being is not a thing.
A lot of the time, speaking about babies, I've noticed that babies that are born prematurely, oftentimes one of the quick ways that doctors
Give them
is
a lot of that. That is the chemistry. That is the science behind it.
Right.
And because our eyes don't see bonding.
So the feeling, the skin to skin.
Yes. The largest part of your body is your skin. In fact, it's the last state where you hide in knowledge or information, your skin. So if you joke with your skin, you are giving some stuff in the future generation of the unborn kids. So it is important that from this discussion, let's have a new orientation towards happiness, joy, people relationship, how we take care of ourselves.
We need to be very intentional about the company we keep, the company we find ourselves in.
If you cannot be intentional about neuroception, like how you go deep with yourself, how you can sense within your body. If there are times your body, something happened to me in South Africa in 2022. I had gone into the MBIT master class.
Okay.
And some of the things that started unveiling to me, he kept telling me, I told you so.
Ooh.
I told you so. I told you so. So after that particular session, I think it was the third day, I sat Nanaya down. I said, Nanaya, sit here. Nanaya, you know what? I'm sorry for all these years not seeing what you were Because like Nania knew I'll go into that
you would-
space. So it
yeah.
has started preparing me towards that.
Right.
I didn't see it because it was not knowledgeable to me.
Okay.
And I apologized to him. And I said, I recommit that moving forward, if you don't move, I won't move when it comes to knowledge acquisition.
Right.
I wept that night.
Oh.
Until then, I've held him hand to hand to keep doing what I do. So if you cannot see that you are more than a thinking thing.
I want us to start and get into the demonstration. But before we get into that, let's talk about this popular phrase that people use, trust your guts.
It's not a phrase, it's wisdom.
Okay.
It's wisdom. So in Mbet is combination of science and ancient wisdom. So statements like trust your gut is what science have gone to look for why we say that and realize that it is a way our body speaks to us.
To us.
Because that is your instinct. One of the beautiful things I humbly want to share is that between the three brains, do you know which one is the firstborn?
Which one is?
Your gut.
Oh.
Your gut was here before your heart developed. Your gut was here before your cognitive brain also developed. That is why we say, trust your gut. Trust your gut. It can sense. It is the only part of your brains that can do the quantum, meaning it can go into your past, bring you things you have even forgotten, or you don't even remember, and you call it dream. Or it can go into the future. It goes into the future. Where do you think the inventions come from? Goes into the future and bring that into being. Then allow you to connect purpose to that creativity. Or say, we love to want to bring this to human support. Then you say, think about it. How can we creatively bring this into being? So every creating thing that does not have a purpose is a disaster. It hurts humankind.
Okay, Scoffrey, all right. So can we have, I think I want KMJ, I want KMJ to come
if he's around, let's do this.
KMJ, if you're here. KMJ,
So,
if you're here,
this
come
device,
and join us.
this device is designed and patented by the HeartMath Institute.
Yeah.
The HeartMath Institute is the leading heart research organization in the world.
Okay.
And all the conversation we are sharing, we say that it is dwell on your heart rate variability, that your well-being can be measured. Your well-being can be measured through how your heart is beating. It's not just that, how you can also go deep within yourself. That is neuroception. And settle in. Even when all the noise and everything is around, you can still stay with yourself. And even if you can do this just 5 minutes a day, it takes you over 24 hours. That's why you're able to balance yourself. You can hear yourself when it speaks to you. But you are so busy out there that your gut speaks, you don't listen.
You don't listen.
Your heart speaks, you don't listen. This even breathes, you don't listen. Like I told you last time, you can collapse, not because you are sick. It's your gut, your parasympathetic that knocked you off. But the painful thing is that by the time it will knock you, you wouldn't know whether you are driving.
Yeah.
You didn't know whether you are bathing.
Just
you
go
know,
off.
Because you were not listening.
It was telling you earlier.
Yes, it
was not paying
will
attention.
prompt you in all angles. It can even give you chills. It can even freeze and everything. But you wouldn't, then, pa, you are off.
Wow. So KMJ is seated. Okay.
KMJ.
You ready?
Thank you so much for wanting to do this with me.
Okay.
Just want to try 2 minutes and see how you can go deep into your heart. Bring all the attention, the balance, the presence. Don't even remember we are here with you.
Okay.
And allow yourself to enjoy this moment.
I should pretend I'm in America.
I like that. After doing all the United Nations tour.
Oh boy.
We know our own and we follow our own. So,
Yeah.
so KMJ, I just want to invite you to begin to bring all attention to your heart. Okay. Then you are going to breathe to this pattern that will be showing on your screen. So let me do medium and see if we can peak. So if you check on the screen, we have 3 bars, red, blue, and green. The green is what we want to grow.
Yeah.
We want to spike the green and see how long he will sustain in the green. So that is the heart, the rate and variable his heart is.
Okay.
Behind there are other, your respiration, your whatever your heart can do, everything is behind that. So we want to see and support and see if you can. So it will calibrate when I click play.
Scoffy, you may, I want to ask this.
Please ask.
The thing that is holding, clinging onto his ear, why is it not on the left side, but rather
It
the
can
right?
be, it can be on both because of the way he's sitting.
Okay.
It can be on both sides.
Okay.
What we are trying to do is your ear. You remember the vagal nerve connects straight also to your heart.
Okay.
So if you check people who are not hearing, who don't hear right, observe their temperance. Observe their temperance, because what you hear also influences your heart.
Okay.
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 So let's
So
start
I have
this.
to
Just be breathing, and use a signal here will come. It will show you breathing and breathe out. It's just 60 seconds in, 60 seconds out. So it's not going to be a normal the way you are breathing. You just don't bring all your shoulders up.
Okay.
So slowly and be gentle with your breath, and let's see what shows up for us here. So it's calibrating. So you use this to do your breathing. Don't rush it, just take your time. Just take your time. And if you can see on the screen, try and breathe with him. If you can see on your screen that the blue one that is going up and down, if you can, just take your time and breathe with him just like that. Wherever you are in the studio, if you can. It's 60 seconds in, 60 seconds out. We are coordinating the collective power of breathing so that our hearts can regulate and tap into what he is monitoring together. So gradually we breathe with him.
Yeah, so our viewers, if you're watching,
So
please
sustain
kindly
it, keep
join
going
in the breathing
slowly.
as well. Breathe
just
in
let it,
and
just
out
let
with
it
us.
go like that.
Yeah.
And as you breathe in, don't think, feel in your chest cavity. Don't think, feel in your chest cavity. This moment in time in your studio, just don't think it. Just keep on breathing it like that. In and out. And if you can do the same thing with us, if you can see it with the blue up and down. And be present with yourself, your heart, your purpose, your value. And observe the spike that is going. This is not for KMJ, this is for us observing. Observe the spike, the undulating, and see. Anytime it peaks, a sound comes up to prove that he's increasing. So if you check, the green bar is so up now that we are
so
at
up,
91.
Yeah.
And I put him on, I think, medium. So if I push KMJ in a coaching session, he can do even the higher one. And when you do that for like 15 minutes, you begin to feel tingling even beneath your feet. You can feel tingling in your knee. You can feel tingling in your spine. That is when you allow your body to coordinate your presence, your well-being. So this is what a lot of great CEOs in the world, they go through some of this thing before they go into great meetings.
Yeah.
And you think you meet them because you know. No,
they
will
prepped
beat you to
themselves.
they can sense you than you think. So this is why it is important in coaching. We use this device to prepare you. Because when your body can also see, it bounces it back that we are in good shape. It gives you confidence. So slow. Now, see, he has spiked.
Okay.
He's spiked.
He's spiked.
KMJ, thank you.
My spiky.
So if it were to be a coaching session, I would have asked him, where was he
Yes.
that we got this?
KMJ, now I'm America. Oh.
Where was he when we got that spike? A lot of the time, when the flashes come through your thought, if you have not synchronized the three, if it were to be in a coaching session, I would have introduced him to his heart, take it to his head, bring it back to the heart, take him to the gut, bring it back to the heart before he starts the exercise, so that I would have brought all of them into alignment. We call it congruence, in alignment, so the body and everything can experience the moment. So that is how can we say, happiness.
So with this right now, which part of the body is experiencing all this?
There are some questions I would have loved to ask him, but it's on set.
Okay.
No, I ask you.
No, it's on set.
Apart
It's
from the other person.
if KMJ is okay with answering,
Okay, so
I
KMJ,
think you should ask.
the moment,
Me, I know they hide anything.
the moment you were with yourself, how did it feel like, even though you were in the studio, how did it feel like when you were with yourself?
I think it felt very good. It felt like me time for me.
So this is one of the things, happiness, if you want to grow it, make conscious effort to have a me time.
Okay.
And me time is not fidgeting with your phone. It is not watching movie. Me time is coordinating every moment to you.
So in that sense, I'm in my bedroom. What do I do? How do I do
So why
this?
don't you breathe?
Okay.
Why don't you do this? Either you can do 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out.
Okay.
So you start doing, if you are doing that, you do. There's even different ways. I would have asked you to pause, hold the breath there
Hold the
for
breath,
some time
right.
before you begin to release it slowly. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, or 6 seconds in. That is the appropriate scientific one. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. Please, what else can you share?
No, and at a point when you were mentioning the values and the CEOs and things, it was affecting me so much. So it was giving me room to still stay.
Exactly.
Nice.
Because we say the heart leads. Your heart leads. Your purpose is why you are in this existence.
Yeah.
The values is what aids you to set the boundaries. So I could have gone and said, okay, bring somebody you care about to heart. It would have expanded.
It could have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bring this. Before you realize, you stop living in the conscious and you bring everything to the subconscious.
Right.
His body could have vibrated. He could have felt tingling beneath his feet. The palm could have gotten wet and all that. Not because he's sick, but because the body
it's all coming together to work.
is in balance.
Yeah.
Homeostasis. That's how we call it. And a lot of us don't.
Homeostasis.
Yes. We don't go in there. We don't. We are so busy.
So at the end of the day, how often as a human being should you go there?
Because we breathe the way we are breathing automatically.
Yeah.
So we don't see that if we can do 6 seconds in and out, it helps us. So why don't you make it part of your routine
Okay.
that you breathe in, that you just with yourself, you can do it. Just do that for 3 minutes before you start your day, before you start your show, before you start the interview, before you do anything. What is so worrying is statistics have proven that stress is on the increase. We are
Scoffer,
becoming
before
more
you
unhappy.
continue,
Okay.
Sorry to cut you. This one. I know-
Brenda's question.
Yes. So KMJ, thank you for putting it on her head because she's the one. So the question that I am to ask right now is orgasm. When you reach orgasm, with everything we've demonstrated here, everything you've said so far, what happens? How do you
So
I'm already in my head with this.
So if KMJ should have gone into like 15 minutes of what we did, and there's a way I could facilitate him to go into his pelvic intelligence.
There's pelvic intelligence
Okay,
too.
I didn't dig deep into that. I could have taken him into his pelvic
There's
intelligence.
pelvic intelligence.
Yes, pelvic intelligence.
Right.
Orgasm rides on the chemical oxytocin and serotonin,
Which is the
which is
heart.
your heart. But sex can just be heady, an activity. So the question is not orgasm. The question is what you are doing. Is your heart involved? Are you in connection? Because if there is no connection, it becomes mechanical. So it becomes mechanical. Because one of the ways to glimmer happiness, well-being, is lovemaking, not sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is not the act. It is the art and the act that makes lovemaking.
Right. Right.
But because the happiness, we want it out here, we are more consumed with the act.
With the act. That's why a lot of you are not. You understand? So your question has been answered.
And so, Brenda, no man, KMJ, no woman is responsible for your orgasm.
It's true.
I'm saying this again, and it's fundamental in relationship. No man is responsible for the woman's orgasm. Because he is not in your body.
Yes.
No woman, and men must also reach orgasm, not just ejaculating. This is too early in the morning, but because it's wellness.
Yeah.
We're talking about wellness.
Yeah.
Ejaculation is not orgasm for man.
Oh, so what is orgasm for man then?
It is the extra journey behind the connection between the two of you, the two of us in the act, that solid connection that can get me to surrender absolutely without feeling threatened that my vulnerability can be used against me.
Oh. Wow.
So the food you eat, the water you drink, the people you live with,
Yes.
and the person you do the bonky with
Right.
are all important. Then sometimes do nature walk. Let me give you an example. KMJ, have you noticed that when you drive out of Accra, just beyond Aji Mensa, and you begin to climb the mountain,
Yeah.
something happens to you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
When you drive out of Accra beyond Pokwase and you enter into that, your body senses something. Yeah. When you drive out of Accra and you enter into, after Kasua, driving into Winneba, your body senses something. What do you think your body senses?
This.
The environment changes.
Exactly.
My mind has just, the every road.
Exactly.
Your body just knows that
it just picks
in a
it.
scenic environment.
That is the job of the vagal nerve, the safety. It feels it before you think it.
The vagal nerve, which is the nerve that is in front of the spine.
That in front of the spine.
Okay.
That is one of the job it does. It can sense.
Yeah.
So imagine you coordinate all the senses in your life.
Ooh.
That is where you can say you've even had an orgasm without sex.
The act.
Because it is phases. It's not absolute. So, then the last one was, what is the last thing that this part, I just wish to know, something happened here. Either it was a thought or you were asleep.
It's a thought, but I can't say the thought.
So you see why I said this? I didn't want to ask that question.
How did you sleep?
You see, so you are more than a thinking thing.
You're more than a thing.
Or a human doing.
Yeah.
You are a human being.
You're a human being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are a human being.
Scoffrey, this has been highly educative and informative. Thank you so much. KMJ and I and the rest of us over here and you viewers at home, I know that we will do better when it comes to happiness. We need, I now would say this, that we have to be very intentional. Intentionality is very good. Even in an environment, you know that, wow, all of this, it wouldn't help you, all the coordination that your body requires for you to exude and feel that nice feeling about your fleet. And I'm a boy Scoffrey.
And you have got 2 legs.
And you've got 2 legs. Run! But Scoffrey, and we've got just about 1 minute to go. So thank you very much. And then we hope that you come again very soon to explain further, to give us some more details and try to get KMJ to say exactly what he was feeling at that point. So, Scoffrey and Ayal, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, and KMJ, thank you for helping us understand all of this.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good.
A brother.
Viewers, this is where we end Prime Morning today on Joy Prime. My name is Esiodua Akumia. You can also call me the Golden Girl. And I know that it's been very educative for you. Tomorrow, we come your way again. I didn't do this alone. KMJ and Rosalie Felly were here with me as well. Enjoy your day and see you tomorrow.